Zadrizes buzdari skosdau.
Whoa, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Sir Reviews. My name is Mark, and this video I'm going to be talking this fast the whole time. Just kidding. We got a lot of news happening, and potentially there may even be some Jon Snow news that pops off while this stream is live. But we'll see. I don't know any of the scheduling of when any of these panels are, right? But I would assume Kit Harington, main attraction there, probably like 5. I don't know. I have to guess. Maybe like midday, perhaps. California's 3 hours behind I, so maybe like 4 o'clock East Coast time. So like shortly after the stream ends. But who knows? Maybe some news will happen while the stream is going on. So what I wanted to do first, obviously, I've got some talking points that I will be addressing, and then patron topics, and then anything that's anybody's watching right now, anything that the chat submits. I don't know why the fuck I'm a little bit nervous, because I've done this 500 times. Like, literally, I've streamed probably over 500 times. So I need to relax. All right. And we'll begin. Right. So the when's the winter news. The thumbnail's been changed a few times, but I didn't even make a video on it because it's nonsense. Right. George did an interview with the Colbert Report like a month or so ago. I don't know, 2 months at this point. Colbert's like have this history of being a Lord of the Rings nerd. So I'm sure that's why George has done interviews with him before. But there was like this clip that I'm showing you right here. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play the audio because the stream will get flagged for it. But it's basically like a joke, right? That's kind of what I was getting at. Stephen Colbert has this rapport, probably with George. They're both Lord of the Rings fans. They probably joke around a lot. So that's why George gave this interview with this cartoon thing, right? But it's a joke, right? So the cartoon, they call James Patterson, who's this guy that just spits out like 50 books a day. He's got 700 ghostwriters. I'm one of them. I wrote one of the most recent James Patterson novels, but I cannot disclose what title it is because I signed an NDA, but just know that I'm one of James Patterson's ghostwriters, right? Anyway, the whole thing seemed like it was a joke because the context, well, there's a cartoon dude interviewing George, and George seemed to be joking the whole time. But anyway, he mentions, right, I've done 1,200 pages on Winds of Winter, and I got another 500 to go. Now, when you put that in the context of this cartoon interview, it's a joke. He's a kidding. He probably does have 1,200 pages for this book written. Does he have another 500 to go? No, probably not. Probably just another few hundred. I'm willing to bet anybody watching this stream right now 500 pesos that, no, I'm just kidding, 500 US dollars that the Winds of Winter will have a release date soon, right? I'm just kidding, right? But no, clearly it seems like it's getting towards 500 pages. That would take him like 17 years to write. So it's a joke. The context, the whole thing seems like a joke. People online, at least, the headlines would have you believe that no one understands what a joke is anymore, right? People will search an interview for something and be like, okay, there's the headline right there. Let me remove 99.999% of the context. These 3 little words are going to make a headline. Like basically people were saying, George gives an update on Winds of Winter. No, he didn't. It's a joke. This is the same update that he gave us like a month ago. And this book is going to be longer than all the other books. So Dance with Dragons and A Storm of Swords, those are the 2 longest. I don't want to look like an idiot. Let me check. I'm on this motherfucker right now. Paddy's Irish Pub, huh? This is my girlfriend's t-shirt that I got her for Christmas, but she doesn't wear it, so I'm wearing it in the stream. And if you're watching this, I'm wearing your clothes. Just like you wear my damn pants all the time. And your butt stretches the butt on my 1,100. Yes, 1,100, damn near 1,200 pages. Dance with Dragons, 1,300 pages, right? So this book, as it sits right now, is going to be the longest, right? George mentioned in that, not a blog from like a month and a half ago, which is the real update, not the joking contextual interview thing. Let me make sure the audio is good. I didn't know. Winds of Winter drops next Friday. All right, can you guys hear me? Shout out John Haymaker. When's the Winter is actually coming out tomorrow. Oh, what's this? Hello. No, oh yeah, by the way. I have a call-in number because people mentioned towards the end of my last stream, hey, I should have a call-in number for people to call in and join the stream. I pinned it as the message. Call me. I'll hold the phone up to microphone as long as you're not saying nothing crazy, and we can talk. Let me make sure that I have like the notifications on it. So far, no one has called. All right, cool. That's not my actual cell phone number, by the way. I'm not that stupid. All right. So yeah, when's the Winter is going to be coming. Don't know when, but you may see this gaining traction the next few days. This came out. Let's see. Let's look on it and see. 2 days ago, and it's unlisted, but maybe that's why it hasn't had more, is because the video is unlisted. I found it because of, well, that's just how I am. I cannot disclose no, I'm just kidding. I've seen it trending on Reddit. But yeah, it's not really an update. Remember, go to the Not a Blog post if you want a genuine update. And earlier this year, he even mentioned finishing POV characters like Tyrion, right? Tyrion has the most POV chapters in all of the books. And then, for instance, in Clash of King, he has like 13 or 14 in that one alone. So Tyrion is the meat and potatoes of most of George's books, as far as like when you finish a character like Tyrion. He writes in a way where he has to twist and tie in all the fates of a lot of the characters, or for instance, one character will show up to a location after another character has been there, and the last POV, so say Arya was at this location, you didn't really know what happened, and then when say Sansa runs into someone from that area, she'll find out what happened with that character, right? So that's kind of how George's books works. And because of that, when you hear the news like, oh, I finished wrapping up Cersei, or I finished wrapping up Tyrion and Jaime, that means that he's making way more progress than he would, otherwise. Let me check to see if any news has come out about the Jon Snow show real quick. Nope, there's still that CBR is the most recent article, whatever the fuck that stands for. Jon Snow video has fans anticipating a spinoff announcement. Let me show that video that they're talking about. I don't need to show it, but it's a video from HBO that has like 40,000 views. I don't think that's what makes people excited about the announcement. It's the literally convention. It's the first ever convention. It's happening this weekend. Although HBO releasing that video could have potentially had something to do with it. Let's see. Oh, wait, no. Looking at the wrong thing. All right, so this stream probably won't be very long. We already talked about the Winds of Winter update. I'm going to check the Game of Thrones convention, like news, Google it rather, every maybe 20 minutes or so. One of the big things I'm excited about, so let me remove this, for House of the Dragon Season 2 is, we're going to get flashbacks. Are they going to expand the story to a point where there are certain characters that either didn't have a lot of scenes, or because of the time jump, we didn't get to know them as well, right? So, for instance, the relationship between Harwin and Rhaenyra, right? George has mentioned before he could write a novella on what happened in that 10-year time jump, right? All we really saw is, Harwin strong with the younger version. So with Millie Alcock, they bumped into each other in episode 4, and then after the time jump happens, Harwin is killed right after that. But all we really saw is with baby Joffrey. She's like, the two of them are just sort of looking at each other longingly, but there seems like they're kind of holding back, obviously, on being intimate with each other because of obviously all these eyes around them, and obviously Laenor's there, right? So it would be interesting to have flashbacks that would show what initially got them together. Like Rhaenyra mentions, she liked that Harwin was fond of her, and she liked being wanted, right? So that was kind of how she made it seem, right? Like it was an opportunity, kind of what she does with Cole, right? She raped Kristen Cole, right? So that would be cool. We got flashbacks, because then obviously Millie Alcock and Emily Carey would come back. Another thing that I think is really cool, and this is something that I was I was gonna make it into a video, but then I did the video last night on the like season 2 being confirmed, starting filming in March. The Card Guild twins, right? They in real life, Luke and Elliot are fucking badass warriors, and they do UFC stuff, and they're fight guys, right? So, they have brass knuckles on their swords, right? That's something that I'm pretty sure at this point everybody's noticed. In specific, in the face-off, when Rhaenyra walks up to Sir Otto and takes off his pen and then throws it in the water, you see Arik pull his sword, and then they have a close-up on it from another scene in episode 9 where they're sharpening it, and like I don't know if I could say that because I talk with him all the time in the DMs, which is really cool. I don't know if I could say that, but I will say it would be really cool if their characters actually got to be around for longer than just, one of the first things that happens when the Dance of the Dragons starts, is that, Sir Otto and Aegon send Eric in the guise of Arik to Dragonstone to go and kill Rhaenyra. This is after Blood and Cheese happens. It would be cool, and that duel would mean a lot more if they stuck around for multiple seasons, right? You could do that with actually several characters that have the potential to be fan favorites. Like the scenes that they got in the end of season 1, like it'll mean a lot when they're fighting on screen. But just imagine if they stuck around until like season 3 and like they had the duel after Rhaenyra goes to take King's Landing. Because remember, Aegon goes to Dragonstone after Rhaenyra was crowned in King's Landing to hide out there. He's sent there by Larys. So what if Eric and Arik are still alive? They don't necessarily do that switcheroo kind of thing. Well, okay, so Eric would go with Rhaenyra to King's Landing, right? And Arik would go with Aegon to Dragonstone. And then the plan happens there. So it's like they get a little bit more time on screen, and then the duel still happens the way it does in canon, just at a different point. I don't know. Let's see. Who do y'all, and this is something that I haven't really said that often, but who would y'all cast as a dragon seed? Let me jump in the chat for that one. Then I'm going to be going to my Patreon topics real soon. Who would y'all cast as a dragon seed? Hello, everyone. What's up, Shelly? What's up, Divine Sharika, John Haymaker, Littlefinger, Cat Shepherd, Triton 54, Damon Blackfire, JMJ, Snoochie Boochies, Leo Baltz, Crystal Hargens 50. Anybody who's watching right now that's not typing in the chat, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Yeah, who would y'all cast as dragon seeds? Music is always on point. Is there music playing right now? There shouldn't be. Yes, there's music fucking playing right now. Let me hear what it sounds like, because maybe it's not annoying. No one ever says anything about it, and I don't hear it when I do playbacks on my stream. So does it only play for a certain amount of time? Let me see. There's no music. It says it because I can play music. Like I can do that. That sounds crazy. Who the hell would want that playing over them while they're talking? Yeah, I don't think there's any music playing. I think you were just saying that. All right. That's pretty much all I had to talk about. There were some other things, but I'll wait to do that. So let me pull up the Patreon. Hoping we get some Jon Snows, and it'd be cool to react to it. Like if they officially announce the show's, going to be coming. Who's going to be joining the cast? Maybe the plot and the premise. It'd be cool if that happened while the stream was going, but I don't think it will. All right. So these are topics that were submitted to me on Patreon, and if you're wondering what that is it's a platform where I upload content more frequently than I upload here to YouTube. I have had a bunch of people leave recently. it's kind of crazy because I just started uploading videos there, and it costs me money to do that. But now that I can upload videos there, it's basically going to be like my secondary YouTube, except for it's uncensored. So obviously I'm not going to jerk off and read chapter reviews, right? You can't do that on Patreon, but you can curse. I can say what I want. I could make jokes about certain things that would be like too sensitive of a topic on YouTube that's gotten my streams demonetized before. You can join for as little as $1. And like I said, now that I can upload videos there, I feel like it's a lot more worth it if someone wants to give, me their money, right, to join that platform. Now that I'm uploading videos there, it's going to be, I think as of right now, I'm going to try to upload 3 times there, which, like I said, is more than I do for YouTube, but it would probably, the first video I did was 36 minutes. Not every single video is going to be that long. And then also, the more time I get to make those videos, the more I can like edit them like I do on YouTube. All right, so the first topic comes from a user named Billy Bob Robertson. Thanks for your support, man. He says, where do you see the Young Griff storyline heading, and how do you see it playing out? So this is referring to probably Winds of Winter, right? So we don't know where, I've made predictions. I've discussed leaks about the Jon Snow show, what the potential plot could be, but this is most likely referring to Winds of Winter. So Aegon is in, he's in Westeros currently. The big thing, and Robert from Indie Geek made a good point about this, because I just assumed, Daenerys is going to show up, marry Aegon, probably take on Jon Snow, or maybe someone who else. She's going to marry whoever can ride her other 2 dragons, right? It'll be the reverse of Aegon. So Aegon had 2 sister wives, and Daenerys will probably have 2 nephews, right? She'll have 2 nephew husbands. So Aegon and Jon Snow. Aegon and Aegon, right? The point that Robert brought up was that there's a lot of tradition, right? In that stream was several weeks ago, so I'm going to try my best to summarize. There's more that Daenerys has to face, right? Than just like showing up with this army and sort of saving the 7 kingdoms. Even if Aegon, right? And this isn't what Robert was saying. I'm just expanding on that thought. Even if Aegon isn't legitimate, the whole point is that he is the most viable candidate for the Iron Throne, and he probably will be sitting the Iron Throne. So it'll be an interesting dynamic to see. Daenerys is obviously going to have a massive army. Most of them, if not all of them, are not from Westeros. So she's going to be this foreign invader trying to stake a claim for something that no one really, like, obviously people know of her, but she didn't grow up partly in Westeros, right? She grew up outside of Westeros. So she's very much a foreigner, just like her entire army. So it'll be interesting to see what'll happen between the 2 of them. Ultimately, what do I see happening with Aegon? I would like him to be, one of Daenerys' husbands if she does sit the Iron Throne, right? Someone's got to die. A bunch of people have to die. So it's kind of hard to just, say straight up, okay, I see him doing this, this, and that. I could say what I'd like to see, right? And that's that I would like to see him, if not sitting the Iron Throne, like at the end of the story, sit it for a time, right? And then maybe go to war with Daenerys. Maybe he steals one. Well, you can't steal a dragon, but maybe he claims one of Daenerys' dragons and uses it to fight against her. And there's a Dance of the Dragons 2.0, right? That way, ultimately, Daenerys will free Westeros by establishing whoever, like putting a Targaryen, a rightful heir, back on the Iron Throne. And that seems like that's something that George is probably going to talk more about. It's like he's danced around the topic. Is like a lot of people think Aegon just one day decided to go and conquer Westeros, but that's not the case. He visited Old Town with Visenya and Rhaenys right before he even did that. He was a guest of Lord Hightower. Also, he had the painted table built like 12 years before he ever even conquered Westeros. So there's probably some back history to why Aegon did what he did. And like, there always must be a Stark in Winterfell. There always must be someone of the blood of the dragon on the Iron Throne. So you have fire in the south and ice up north. And as long as those 2 bloodlines are on those 2 thrones, for the most part, any problems that are caused are from, just people living in Westeros. But as long as there's a Stark in Winterfell, and as long as there's a Targaryen on the Iron Throne, right, which didn't exist before the Targaryens before Aegon conquered Westeros, Westeros was 7 individual kingdoms with petty kings and warlords, and it was very fractious. Aegon killed a bunch of people, but in killing a bunch of people, he united Westeros under one banner. That banner dissipated as soon as he died. It started to fall apart as soon as he died, and he never really brought in Dorne. Technically, he bowed to Dorne, right? But there's something that has to do with the prophecy, and ultimately George is probably going to end his story by saying, like, there's got to be a Stark in the north and a Targaryen down south. Maybe not a direct Targaryen. It could be someone like Jon Snow, right? But their blood is so concentrated, even if you have a few drops of it, you have a lot more than you realize. So, which is ideal, right? Like George says, the Targaryens, the Valyrians would breed, interfamily all the time to keep that gift like prominent and to not, have dragons stolen or have someone have the blood who isn't a part of their family. So in doing that, they super concentrated their blood as well. So you may not have to be a full-on Targaryen to ride a dragon. Nettles, right? Let me jump in the chat. Restin Turns. Nice. Thank you for joining, becoming a channel member, man. That's awesome. I asked Dragon Seeds, who would y'all cast for Dragon Seeds besides me, Sir Hunts? Oh, yeah, by the way, custom t-shirt is available on Teespring. You can buy this bad motherfucker for $26. And I don't know, that's a lot, especially when you include shipping, but it's actually only priced so that I make $6 off of it. I need to get an actual storefront on an actual site where they don't charge $22 as a base rate for a custom t-shirt. But yeah, thank you for joining, Rest in Turns. If you're unaware, channel member basically means you get to watch my videos ad-free. Oh yeah, but I was saying about the Dragon Seeds. John Haymaker says Jenna Ortega. Who is that? That name sounds familiar. So who is this? Oh, fucking Wednesday. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that show yet. Christina Ricci is Wednesday to me, but yeah. Let's see. Who would you have her play? Oh, she's American, so I'm sorry. I'm going to have to disagree with that, John Haymaker. Americans cannot do English accent. And the other way around, too. Englishmen and women and everybody, right? If you try to do an American accent, 99% of the time, it sucks chicken balls. Just like when Americans try to do English accents. It sucks chicken balls. Unless you lived over there for 10 years, it's really hard to do. I'm a professional accentist. I've been doing accents since I was 9 years old. All right. I'm about to be 33. Oh, yeah. My birthday's coming up. Happy early birthday to Sir Hunts. I'll probably live stream on my birthday. Why not? What was I about to say? What was I saying? Oh, yeah. It's just, unless you lived over there, it's really hard to do, right? I uploaded a clip of me doing my Patty the Batty accent for Scouts. I've actually been told by other Scouts people that I'm pretty damn close. They were like, bro, if we were drinking, no, I'm just kidding. They didn't really say this, but I just imagine this is what they were thinking because they heard how good my accent was, right? They would be like, bro, if we were drinking at a pub, I wouldn't notice that you weren't from here. That's not my Scouse accent, but that's an English accent. By the way, Gina Ortega is American. You cannot cast Americans to play these roles. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, you know what's funny? Whenever I say that, people go, Exhibit A, Peter Dinklage. Haha, bet you didn't know he... Bro, when you listen to... When you learn a proper English accent, I can't do it, but I can hear it. I can actually point out to what part of the island they're from sometimes, right? Like, oh, that's a London accent. Oh, that's a Scouse accent. Those are the two that I know for sure, right? What was I getting at? What was I getting at? Damn, I forgot. Oh, yeah. The Peter Dinklage thing. People will comment and say, oh, yeah, but you didn't know Peter Dinklage. Yeah, his accent sucks ass. He's a good actor. That's why it was passable, right? When I was watching the show and I found out that he was English, it was shocking. But here's the thing. I was 26 years old. My brain had just finished developing. I was half retarded. I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. My ears were not as sensitive to accents because, again, I am an accentist as they are now, right? So Jenna Ortega, very beautiful. Wednesday Adam. Christina Ricci's is Wednesday in my book. But beautiful. You can't play nobody up in that show unless you're me. I could play someone on this series because I am an accentist. I'm not going to say it again. I'm in fill the blanks, right? I've obviously had a bunch of coffee before this stream. All right, so I don't want to do a whole accent thing, right? I just did this whole, just explain that. North must remember unique Oh, yeah. Thank you, buddy. That is a link to my shirt. Listen here. Thank you for that, North must remember. John Haymaker, listen, Dinklage is the man. No one's saying he's not, although his comments the past year or so about Game of Thrones fans, suck it, buddy. Who the fuck are you? Get off your high horse, quite literally. We didn't dislike the ending of Game of Thrones because pretty white people didn't go sailing off in the sunset. First of all, my nigga, you are white. Don't say that shit. Don't say that. You sound really corny. Do you hate white people? Really stupid, right? You shouldn't hate anybody. Otherwise, you're racist. Second of all, right? You gave people who are of the shorter side of a height spectrum less work by saying that, using dwarves in roles specifically meant for shorter people is racist and all this other stuff. Like, man, calm down. You got your money. Let other people get their stuff. Sometimes actors, when they've been millionaires for a while, they lose touch with reality and they say very stupid, shitty, dumb things. As what he said about pretty white people riding off in the sunset. Shut the fuck up. Quit being racist to anybody. Doesn't matter if you're black. Doesn't matter if you're white, Asian, whoever. Shut the fuck up. You can be racist. Kanye West is being one of the most racist people I've ever seen in my life right now, right? It doesn't matter what race you are. You can be racist. I don't Peter Dinklage is the man. He's a good actor. Nothing happened. Yes, yes, it did, Laura. It did. I'm just kidding. I didn't mean to sound sassy with you. But no, I'm like in the middle of like a rant for what Peter Dinklage said last year. And they were precisely from nowhere. They had the accent of nowhere. They sounded like Boston, Texas. It's like when you try to do an American accent. It's like, hello, I'm American. It's like weird if you're an American, right? Or if your ears are trained like an accentist like me, John Haymaker, then you'd be able to pick it up. The subtleties and inflections and the way they say word. It'll be like they'll say a sentence good, but one word they'll say like hamburger, and they just can't help it. They'll be like, I was going to McDonald's earlier and I stopped and looked at the menu and I was going to order a hamburger, but instead I got chicken nuggets, right? Like I don't know. Amelia Clark can't do an American accent. Lena Headey can't do an American accent. Who's next? Who you got? Any news on the Duncan Egg series? Super excited for that. Yes. No news on it. I'm excited for it too. Let me check right now. Steve Conrad is the writer on that. And that was the last we knew about it. But in my opinion, George should be the most excited about that show because it's like really showcases how talented of a writer he is. Duncan Egg show news. I ain't seeing nothing. There's an article from Forbes that says wins winners coming out according to math. Let's see what math they did. All right, let's see. I know it sounds like I'm in a bad mood, but I'm not. Shut up. I'm not paying ads to look at your goddamn article. What do you think this is? I got on ad block, baby. Where's the math? I don't see this formulaic problem you attribute to the math to wins winners coming out. What are you talking about? Oh shit, that's the wrong thing. That was my patron. Okay. I jot these details down out of grief more than frustration. My favorite fantasy series remains unfinished and will okay. Read it again. And then after you finish reading it again, read it again. Read it 7 times. And then you can bitch about where's wins. I'm just kidding. Let me get up off my high horse. All right, so this dickhead said 1 page every 3.78 days rounded down for 1,100 pages finished. 1 page every 3. Dude, this is pointless. And that is clickbaiting. People tell me I clickbait. No, these articles clickbait. Forbes, you clickbait. Bitch. I'm just kidding. What's up, Reese from Philly? What's up, man? Yes. You may be an actress, but are you an accentist? All right. I'm an actor too. I act as if I'm less excited than I actually am in all my videos. I have to tone down my excitedness, so I act less excited than I am. I'm just kidding. I'm sounding like a dumbass. Sienna Nanua as Nettles. Let's look that up. Who is Sienna Nanua? Sounds exotic as. Oh, as Nettles? Isn't she already in the show? No. I'm thinking of someone else. There was someone who worked as a servant. Sorry, she looks similar to her. Well, she's got the look. What is she from? The Serpent Queen? What is that? The Serpent Queen? Oh, that's my fucking lady. Is that Gwendolyn Christie's in there? Is that Gwendolyn Christie? Catherine de Medici. She looks like she could. Catherine de Medici could play a someone who was related to AEMOND'S. Oh, Catherine de Medici is the famous person who the show is based on. The actress's name is Samantha Morton. Way less exotic sounding. Okay, so Sienna Nanua plays Rahima. Look, I'm not going to say it's racist to cast her as Nettles, but I'm going to say it's racist to cast. I'm just kidding. I can see that. I like that. That's a good one. I've never heard of that person, so I always like meeting new characters. Also, this Serpent Queen show about Catherine de Medici looks pretty interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out. What is this? What is the synopsis on it? Let's see. God, IMDb. Just give me a paragraph to read what the show's about. I don't give a shit what a user thinks about the show. Stupid. Who is the user? Okay, so this is too much. Where's the? All right, you know what? We're going to Wiki. You can't tell me what this damn Serpent Queen show is about. IMDb. IMDb stands for useless piece of a website. The Serpent Queen. Thank you. Wikipedia. First article. Although you're asking me to give you $2, I can't do that. The Serpent Queen is an American period drama. Oh, American. Catherine de Medici from the 16th century Queen of France as portrayed by actress Samantha Morton. The series was created by... Okay, but what the fuck is the show about? The series follows the story of Catherine de Medici, who marries into French Let me get my French accent. Wow, French toast, French baguette, French this, French that, cafe. All right, Valois. The French Valois court as a 14-year-old teenager expected to bring in a fortune in dowry and produce heirs. Despite many challenges, a lifetime of clever political maneuverings allows her to rule France as queen for 30 years. Also, Catherine Medici is Sansa of House Stock. Osiris Gaming, what's up, buddy? Did you get the brand discussion yet? I'm a bit late. No, I have not touched on any of the patron topics yet. I have not. I'm not necessarily in a mood. I just wanted to have more well, I'm not. I don't even think anybody watching this thinks I'm in a bad mood. I think that because I'm not like as hyper as I normally am. Yeah, no, I haven't discussed any of the patron topics yet. Not yet. I will. Nettles casting choices. Oh yeah, by the way, thank you for your support, Osiris. If you're wondering, Patreon is a platform in which I release exclusive content only available there. And if you think I'm a goofball and you like my personality in my videos or in my live stream, then you'll love it over on Patreon, right? 7 hours of exclusive content is a way to say it in short. You can join for $1. I just had a bunch of people leave after I started uploading videos there, so I'm not sure what's going on, right? But you can join for $1, and I'm going to continue to upload just as often. I upload there more frequently than I do to YouTube, and I still upload to YouTube pretty damn frequently. I've uploaded like 4 videos in the past week, so yeah, get down on it. Okay, what was the one that... Oh, yeah, Devon Sharika. By the way, this person is an artist, right? their username, Divine Sharika, is on my they follow me on Instagram and on Twitter, right? Go follow them. They do portraits of all different types of characters, not just for House of the Dragon, but also Lord of the Rings too. So that's really cool. They said Nettle's casting choices. Razan Nazar. Well, I already know who Zendaya is. I don't need to look that up, but I'll look up Razan Nazar, Yaya DaCosta, and Aja Naomi King. All right. Let's see. Razan Nazar. Who is this? Who is this woman you speak of? Nazar. Oh, she's pretty. Oh, she's very pretty. She looks like, well, that one image. Well, she kind of looks like in this one image right here that y'all can't see, kind of looks like she could be Sade's daughter. Kind of. What is she from? I'm not seeing an IMDb page pop up. You know what? I'm going to share this with you guys. I don't know why I didn't think to do that. I just did that earlier. Here we go. Boom! This is the person they're talking about. Sorry if that was loud. Razan Nazar. All right, so let's see. Where's the IMDb page? Which we just established. IMDb is a piece of crap. Let's see. Pistol, Top Boy, Mirage, Get Even. I've never heard of these. But that's good. That means that the person's star power wouldn't overshadow the role. All right, so I like that casting choice. Good one. Good on you, Divine Sharika. Good on you. All right, what's the next one? Yaya DaCosta. Let me see. I don't think I spelled that right. Nope, I did not. Very pretty as well. Camara DaCosta Johnson. American actress. I'm sorry, Divine Sharika. Aren't you South African? Don't you know that we cannot do those accents? Unless you're me. I can do an accent from literally anywhere in England, but I prefer to do the ones that Americans understand the most. Another good choice, but Americans, so automatically disqualified. I'm afraid to look up the last one because I feel like it could be another goddamn Yankee. What was it? Aja Naomi King. Y'all get to see how crappy I am at spelling. That was a country Australian accent. Just so you know, country Australian is way harder to do than any other type of accent. So, what the fuck am I talking about? Wikipedia. Gloria Mundi. Television. Blue Bloods. I've heard of that. BoJack Horseman. People always tell, and I've seen clips of it. I know that show's funny, but I never actually watched it. How to Get Away with Murder. Well, here's a way to how to get away with it. Don't do it. Take it from me. Don't kill anybody. You'll ultimately be able to get away with the murder with Muck Duck. All right. Oh, shit. Super chat from Laura Estrada. Thank you. You were great. I want to call in. I did. No one answered. Oh, crap. You didn't need to send a super chat to tell me that. It must have. Oh, I have you. Call again, please. 126. Wait, can I call you back? It's an app on my phone. I don't know if I can call it, but you can call me back right now. Call me back right now, Laura Estrada. You don't have to pay to call. She just did this. If you have a question or anything, call in, please. Thank you for that super chat. Patreon videos were great. Thank you, North Must Remember. Thank you. Oh, here we go. Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
Is this Sir Huntsman?
Yes. Let me make sure everybody can hear. Can you guys hear in the chat? Type in the chat if you can hear. You should be able to. I have it right over my microphone. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. This is it. This is my goal, was to talk to you. You had a live stream.
Awesome. Well, I see somebody asking. The number is pinned at the top of the chat. Oh, by the way, can I ask your username? Is this Laura?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Laura, thank you for your support. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? Are you excited that you finally get to talk to one of your Patreons?
Yeah,
I'm representing.
for sure. Did you are you? Well, I was gonna say, let me ask you something. What are you most excited about for season 2?
I really am. I'm so curious how they're gonna do the whole. My gosh, why can't I think of the cheese? Why can't I think of the? What's the two assassins' names? You better tell me.
The two.
Something in cheese.
Oh, blood and cheese.
Yes, that whole just scenario. Like, how the heck are they gonna do it? Like, is it gonna go right into that? I mean, I pretty much what we had. Renair just turning around, looking at us with that look, and that's all we have to go on. And it's driving.
I did the look.
And it's just not working. That whole storyline is going to be amazing. It's just kind of one of those things where anticipation, and then of course everything, all the podcasts we're all listening to fill up the time until season 2. I mean, we're going to theorize for what, a year? So that's it begins. So the whole blood and cheese. So that's pretty much my focus is on that.
Yeah, I think probably if I had to guess, me personally, I know other YouTubers are going to put out the same numbers, but I probably will put out between 150 to maybe 200 videos. I know that sounds crazy between now and when it comes out. So we got to.
That doesn't sound crazy at all. Like, I probably average 4 videos a day. Like, whether you if what's his face Robert has something on, all the pretty much. You have to realize that all the same people kind of watch the same podcast, which is an awesome thought of you have a lot of the same followers as Robert, and then there's a lot of us people that follow Lord of the Rings stuff through them. So there's actually a huge community more than people think. It's just we've never all come together. So I'm starting it. So I'm letting you know that 150 videos, that's nothing.
Awesome.
That's 2 weeks for some people.
Yeah, that's really cool. And also, I saw Aziz from History of Westeros. He's with Kyle from Kyle's Fucking Chickens, and then also obviously Ashaya is with him, and then Shaun, all from History of Westeros. They're at the LA convention right now too, and I've met all of them.
Oh my gosh! Hello. I live in LA. I live in Pasadena, and
nice.
It's funny because I've been completely waiting for this. I'm going to tell you what I thought yesterday. I was thinking, because it's the first time, I really do want my YouTubers and anybody that really has a channel, and I want them to go first and experience this, because with like Comic-Con and everything, I mean, I live in California. I've been around when it started around in San Diego. I mean, these things start small and then they get huge. It's totally different now because of social media, but I want this to be something that's going to be yearly. And I mean, think about a Game of Thrones specific convention that happens yearly, how amazing it can get more and more each year. But I honestly think like you and everybody else that's going to go there, I want to hear their report about it. And then I think like next year the fans and everybody are like future YouTubers. I mean, this is a whole different industry. And I have to say the House of Dragon, brilliant showrunner, getting Martin back in, and I honestly think that he had this thought in his head of how he was going to move forward. I think he really, truly visualized this more than we think he did, because this is going to be a Tolkien pathway for generations. And the convention is obviously just an obvious like step forward to this is really a game changer for our world with this whole mythos. I'm just like you. I hope you know when you say that you're just a nut job over like everything Game of Thrones or Targaryen. Yeah, and us and about a trillion of others. I mean, besides my job, this is like my next passion. So
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I think well, like touching on what you're saying about the conventions, that's gonna like really exciting. I mean, I know it's big this year, but just next year when we have probably them finishing up filming and stuff, like if they're gonna do it around the same year, so everybody will be available, and yeah, it's gonna be nuts. I cannot wait.
And it won't be attached to Comic-Con. Imagine, like, we're not gonna it's gonna be a Game of Thrones. This is the new blah blah blah. These are the new specifically just for that. So just imagine Comic-Con, but just, it's too much for me to handle. It's like Disneyland for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's like my son last night. We put out a bunch of his toys, and he like didn't want none of them. He got overstimulated. He's like, I'm just gonna scream. That's like how we are with Game of Thrones.
That would be what happened. Overstimulation walking in there. I mean, yes, completely.
Yeah, I saw.
That's why I want the first timers to go, because I'm sure I have no clue what it's gonna be like. So the report back from today is I'm kind of waiting for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. I think isn't Ryan Condal gonna be there too? Like he's gonna be at one of the main panels. I think they'd mentioned him and
it's gonna be a great day for anyone that gets to go there.
yeah.
I'm sad that you didn't get to go. Like if you would have had the opportunity, would you have been able? Like would you have? Us Patreon people would have gotten some money for you to get a plane ticket to get out of here. I wish that you could have thought of that before.
Yeah, I actually did. So they had it. They were gonna do it last year or earlier this year, I think in February, and I made a GoFundMe for it. But I just I got some donations for it. I just never, once my daughter was born, I was like, I don't feel like that's safe to leave. And it was initially in Las Vegas, and then they moved it to LA. So to be honest, if I had the opportunity, I would I would be there for sure.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked. Like thinking, okay, but no. That's totally understandable. But again, next year it'll be way better. I mean, you'll have more, again, and then it's going to be closer to hopefully the season. So you had dropped the video about them starting filming quite this year. Is that what's happening? Is that it is going to happen? They are filming right now?
I think it's going to be March. Tom Glenn Carney said he did a panel thing last night, and he said filming starts in March, and right now they're prepping their bodies for season 2, getting ready physically because it's going to, have a lot of demand. It's going to be very physically demanding on them.
Completely, yeah. But that hopefully gives us a little bit more with the date for it to, push forward. And honestly, a year is, I've worked in production stuff and different careers in my past, in my life out here. And filming and production, that takes a long time. I know that technology is a huge faster, but I'm thinking a year and a half. They have it down and now with just the dragons, and I think with the set,
they got it.
Now there's the set built that's going to help move it forward.
Yeah, they have to go and catch the dragons. They have to bait them and then entrance them and have soothsayers put them to sleep. And then they transport them all the way from Valyria to Leavesden. And that takes a while. That's people keep saying it's going to be a while because of filming process, but you don't understand. These are wild dragons that they've convinced through magical soothsayers to come and play a part in this series.
That's a whole different kind of casting. You have to find ones that are going to be able to bond with people. It takes way longer than people could.
They lose 600 to 700 people during the filming process, just for dragon snacks.
Think about all the cattle and horses. You got to think about the food costs. That's just. The dragon traders. They go through them the turnover is really, really bad lately.
Yeah, they had a lawsuit. It was a crazy, LA's workers union. It was a bunch of it was crazy, but
We don't want that to happen again. So
and the Red Priestess, the Red Priests are being overworked. They got to resurrect all these people because you can't just have a bunch of dead people in Hollywood.
Totally. Seriously, I watched this podcast yesterday. It had something to do with I know that I can tell you this stuff because that's why I love you. But you do funny things with sex, and we are in the incest, and we make a joke out of the joke of this. That's the last thing I ever think of being, controversial on the show. So I heard somebody talk about this sex kind of fetish they have with dragons and sex, and I don't know how I got on this podcast, but I was busting up laughing because I felt going, yeah, to each their own, but that's a little visually kind of kooky. But because the girl basically called it acting this isn't a weird thing. People have fantasies about everything, but these two podcasters were like, oh, dragon? I was like, where are these people from? People have been fantasizing about monsters sexually or this stuff forever. I look at my dragons more like a pet, so I was kind of offended. I want to touch the dragon.
Yeah, I gotta tread carefully around the dragon sexual intercourse topics because I mentioned how they.
I was very upset. Like, yeah, so I'm very upset that people even brought that stuff up. So.
Yeah, like it's really simple. The Targs would use Targaryen, dragons, sperm in place of their own, and this is how they had that connection. But people, it's just,
It's artificial insemination. Some dragon jizz. That's all.
And the stream's demonetized. I'm just kidding. It would be my fault. It would be my fault before.
I apologize for that. So, to keep you on track, I know that you needed to do your Patreon questions, so I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure people are like, oh. I hope that people enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for calling in.
Of course, and I'm being honest that I think there should be a lot more Targaryen talk. There should be like little chat, something like calling in and just discussing Game of Thrones stuff. It's been a fun time, Mark. Thank you, Sir Huntsman.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right, have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye. All right. So I'll take another one of those here in a few minutes. I'm gonna say what's up to Rhaella in the chat. How you doing? Love Prue 1. Tom Holland was cast as Aegon and Aemon younger brother. Tom Holland as a Targaryen is something I've honestly never considered, but that's a good choice. Tom Holland's the man. Billy Bob Robertson, what's up? And I was in the process of answering. I already answered your question, Billy Bob. Maybe like 20 minutes back. Been streaming for like 51 minutes now. John Haymaker says they have to give the dragons other shots too. Yeah, here's the thing. The dragon shots don't actually so dragon flesh cannot be penetrated by needles. So they have to get the dragons to take the medicine orally. What they do is slathered lambs in antibiotics and all of the viral and antifungal creams that they give to the dragons. They basically take a sheep and dip it in a bath solution with all of these things on it. And then the dragons, roast the sheep and then ultimately consume the medicine that way. But yes, it is a nightmare. It's a logistical nightmare. The fact that they have, 19 dragons on the show and all 19 of them have to be, negotiated with their contracts. They have to be, each one of them is like, they have their different list of demands. Like Vhagar is a diva. Like she won't come into set unless everybody else is already there waiting for her for an hour and a half. Her rider includes different things, not just water and, dragon snacks, but a bunch of other stuff. Like she needs, I'm going too far. But yeah. Sweet. I didn't miss all of it. Nice. Welcome, Brian. Laura, Estrada, you're awesome. Indeed. Osiris Gaming. I agree. That was so much fun. No problem. Thank you. JMJ says William Franklin Miller as Daeron Targaryen. Who's that? Let me look this dude up. Got a hyphenated last name. How old is he? Can y'all see this? Oh no, y'all can't see it. Yeah. Wait, why did it say you could see that, but then you couldn't see that? Wikipedia page. Oh, he's born in 2004, so he's almost the age. You know what? Good choice. You can see it in his face. He looks like Ty Tennant. Ultimately, looks like Tom Glencarney. Looks like Viserys. Looks like Daemon, right? Also, Alicent, obviously. Good choice. You got some pretty good choices, JMJ. Same with you, Devon Sharika. Yep. They have to stop the spread of the dragon pox. Actually, dragons are disease-free. Those antibiotics and stuff are just to make. All right, I can't even think of a joke to that, but yes, dragon pox, stop the spread of it. Melanie Vine says, I'll be watching. Awesome. The serpent penis. The Serpent Princess. Is that the from that show? The show that I looked up? No, that's the Serpent Queen. All right, so let's go back to the patron topic question. So we already did Billy Bob Robertson. So the next one is from a user named AnaaaRodarte. And remember, if you're watching right now, please consider joining my Patreon. I had like 10 people leave the past week or so. Like, obviously, I can't control people wanting to give me their hard-earned money, but I try to work my ass off on the content that I put up there. I try to make each video the audio podcast. I bought a microphone for it. I'm now able to upload video to Patreon is what I'm saying now. So please consider going to go join it. Ultimately, that's my way to remove my independence on YouTube's ad revenue. So if I'm making enough on Patreon, I can sort of not give a shit what YouTube does with my videos here. And like if they go viral or not, it won't matter because I always have Patreon as my main source of income. But anyway, this is from AnaaaRodarte, and thank you for your support. They said Aegon the Conqueror and his wives. Obviously, Rhaenys was his favorite, but do you think they had threesomes, my boy? And then, do you think that Rhaenys was actually faithful? All right, so let me answer that last part. Canonically, this is you got to take this into consideration. Canonically, in canon, they mention the lack of faithfulness that Rhaenys has towards Aegon. When Aegon would go and spend the night with Visenya, his older sister, his other sister wife, when he would go and spend the nights with her, which were 1 to 100 in comparison to Rhaenys, right? So Aegon the Conqueror had 2 sister wives. Rhaenys he married for love. Visenya he married for duty, right? For every one night he'd spend with Visenya, he would spend 10 with Rhaenys. But when he did spend that one night with Visenya, Rhaenys was getting busy. She would have singers, she would have musicians, muscular fellows, basically a bunch of model dudes. She had a harem of boys that would follow her around, and singers and like artists and musicians, all that stuff. So much to the point that the son that she has with Aegon, Aenys, who's older than Maegor, so Sons of the Dragon, Aenys and Maegor. Aenys he has with Rhaenys, Maegor he has with Visenya through witchcraft. Most likely, this is why Maegor is impotent, right? You could argue that he wasn't, but she was force-feeding Maegor steroids from the age of 4. Maegor was given a sword at a young age, and he decided to go and murder a cat. What makes you do that is an overabundance of testosterone. Maegor was massive. He had the shoulders of a blacksmith. He was literally destroying grown men in tourneys at the age of 12. Maegor was on the juice. So that probably made his balls shrivel up and he couldn't make babies. And maybe he did through magical means, but going back to your question, yes, they probably had threesomes. Visenya, it's interesting that Visenya is mentioned to be not the one that would be like into the arts and all that stuff, but she literally uses the magical art. Whatever. Answering your question, yes, they probably had threesomes. And also Rhaenys was not faithful to Aegon. Visenya probably was, but Rhaenys wasn't. And Aegon was in love with her. And ultimately, the fact that Dorne killed her and then may have kept her alive and poisoned her and tortured her for years, right? And that's what ultimately made Aegon bow down to Dorne. It adds to another layer to that. If not only was Aegon really in love, and also really, you got to realize whenever people would offer Aegon to have another wife to marry, he's like, I already got 2 wives, my sister wives. And like, it just makes sense that, he would be in love with her. She loved him, but ultimately she would probably sleep with other people and he couldn't do shit about it. So he'd be like, all right. I think that was all of your question. Yes, they had threesomes, and no, I don't think Rhaenys was faithful. All right, so the next one is from Osiris Gaming. I'm like, why did I comment on that? It's because I pulled a question from someone else. And then I also have one from the North Must Remember, but it seems like, let me ask you in the chat, North Must Remember, are you satisfied with rewatching that stream and the answer that I gave to that, like, try to the champions of like a champion of R'hllor, champion of the Drowned God, a champion of death, the North, that rant that I did in my last live stream. If you're not satisfied with that, I'll try to answer it again right now. But this is from Osiris Gaming. He's in the chat right now. Thank you for joining my Patreon, man. He says, I just posted it on your video, but I'm excited about this. My opinion, I think Bran's going to be the villain because remember, he didn't want to be king, only the three-eyed raven, and then all of a sudden he wants to rule Westeros. Remember, Breanne was touched and marked by the Night King. What if somehow the Night King is in him? I haven't read the books, but for some reason I have a bad feeling about Breanne. All right, so that's where a lot of that sentiment comes from. I don't know, Osiris Gaming, if you've maybe read some posts online or seen videos here on YouTube of people that talk about Breanne being the Night King. There were several people that said when the show was on, Breanne looks so much like the actor Vladimir Furtick, I think is his name, who plays the Night King. Like in real life, that's why they chose this guy, Vladimir, to play the Night King, because he looks like Breanne. Breanne will eventually become him. I don't know if that's what made you think that. And then also, if you read a post where people are using book stuff, like it makes so much more sense in A Storm of Swords or just in the books in general, right? That Breanne is working for an entity, right? Or making his way towards an entity. Ultimately, once he gets there, he starts working for this entity and training to replace him, right? We don't understand the full mysteries of it. But the big thing is that superstition is prevalent in every single POV. So even somebody like Jaime, right? And the reason why I say somebody like Jaime is because Jaime's doesn't do the best things, right? Nobody does. But as far as his internal thought pattern and his thinking, and then how his journey ends up in a feast, and then where it will end up in Winds of Winter, he's the most logical sort of person next to Tyrion. But even he suffers from affliction of a superstition, right? So when he is first freed from the dungeons of River Run, this is literally his first POV. He's the first POV in the Storm of Swords. He thinks about how awesome it is that he can see the sun in his hair. And, when he's riding in the Riverlands, he's never thought about how he appreciated the sight of rocks and trees so fucking much. But then he sees the sky looks like the Tully banners. And because the sky looks like the Tully banners, or the house colors for House Tully, he says that's a bad sign and a bad omen, and they're probably going to suffer for it. And sure enough, the head of the house guard for River Run comes and litters arrows with on Breanne and Cleos. Cleos Frey is Jaime Lannister's cousin, who's a Lannister and Frey through his aunt Joanna, someone who was not on the TV show. Or if he was on the TV show, he probably had like no lines. It was just some dude in the background. They said, yeah, this is Cleos Frey. So he's initially tasked with Catelyn to take Jaime back to King's Landing. Catelyn is trusting in Tyrion not being a complete dipshit. And Breanne and Cleos Frey are taking Jaime back to King's Landing. All that aside, like I said, the superstitious thing, and that feeding into why people, when you don't understand something, you just assume the worst, right? People do that in the real world. When you don't have the best understanding of a particular subject matter, or you don't understand all of the nuances of a topic or whatever, you can assume the worst and say really stupid shit to make yourself sound like a dumbass, right? And that's kind of what it is with Breanne, right? So Breanne is a little boy. He's 8 years old. He's like, maybe he's 10, right? He doesn't understand that. Like, okay, so he's told by Lewin that at one point gods were real. They just died. I'm getting a call from somebody right now. Whoever this is, I will answer it, but I'm making a point. I don't want to be sidetracked from the point, but please call back. So since he's a little boy, Lewin tells him at one point gods were real, but then they died, and then that's when all the magic in the world left. So now dragons are back in the world. So dragons equal magic, which equal God. The god of dragons, the god R'hllor, is reborn into the world through Daenerys and people like Jon Snow. He's got avatars who ultimately because he chooses to save Jon Snow. Jon Snow becomes his avatar, like Lord Beric Dondarrion. Look, that hasn't happened in the books yet, but that's kind of what that's getting at. Breanne is becoming the avatar, right? The hero. This is kind of answering the Northwest Remembers question. Y'all like that? Sir Hunts is a lot smarter than he likes to give himself credit for. I give myself all of the credit. Y'all should hear me when I'm jacking off. I just go, oh, I'm a genius. I'm so smart. But yeah, so Breanne interprets things. Okay, so let me finish that thought, right? So when you don't understand something, it's very easily to slip into assuming the worst about it. So Breanne is the avatar for the old gods, and they're the many unforgotten named of the North, right? The first main gods, the children of the forest, had heroes. Those heroes died, had their faces carved into the trees, and then they were worshipped by the children of the forest and by the first men, right? So Breanne is becoming the avatar for that type of magic, ice magic. Like with all the other magic, right? Fire magic in particular, you have to do blood sacrifice for it. The children of the forest and the first men north of the wall, so the wildlings, they still do this. You have to. Do you want something from this god? Oh, you do? Okay, give the god something in return. It's like Greek gods. Zeus loved to turn into a goat and go and rape people, right? That was his thing. That was his taking, right? And so he would give them stuff in return, like kids, Hercules, right? Half, whatever. I don't know shit about Greek mythology. Let me backstep a bit. If you want a god to do something for you, you must do something for that god. The old gods would like it when you would kill someone in the name of them. So someone would die or you would sacrifice them ritually, and you put their body parts inside the mouths of these sacred trees, which spiritualistically and ritually, these trees symbolized physical versions, right, of those gods, and they were pleased. So Breanne, when he's in Bloodraven's cave, he gets offered something known as weirwood paste. It may potentially actually be blood, right? So you got to realize the guy who he's seeing right now, Bloodraven, very mysterious character. He had the ability to warg because his mother was a Blackwood, right? So he had the blood of the first men, and then also he's a Targaryen. Remember, Targaryen blood, super concentrated. So this dude who has the gift of the first men, just like Breanne is a warg, he willingly goes north of the wall. Well, he gets sent to the wall, becomes the Lord Commander, and then disappears on an expedition. But he takes the Raven's Teeth people with him, and then when Breanne gets to that cave 100 years later, those Raven's Teeth archers' bones are on the floor of the cave that this fucking dude who literally has trees growing in and out of him, like he has a piece of a tree that goes through his face and comes out the other side. And he also he's pinned to this throne through pieces of weirwood roots. Also, weirwood roots hang down in the cave itself. So it's a whole thing, right? In order for Breanne to get into that position, he's going to have to eat people. He's going to have to become a cannibal and consume their power. So Bloodraven probably killed every single Raven's Teeth archer who were wargs, right? They all had these weirwood bows. They were all wargs that he found, right? And enlisted into his archer troop. And he would kill each one of them and make that weirwood paste. It's where you take weirwood sap, pieces of weirwood, then human flesh, and you mix it together and then you eat it. And when you do that, it has a very similar effect of Shade of the Evening, right? I saw a post on Reddit talking about Shade of the Evening after my last live stream where I talked about Shade of the Evening being mushrooms, right? Could be ayahuasca, could also be all this other, MAOI inhibitor shit that you got to do all this stuff to, but I haven't done that. What I have done is psilocybin, and I've done some really, really strong version of it, right? So that's what it sounded like to me. It's interesting. I wonder if whoever wrote that post on Reddit or were you watching my videos? If not, whatever. It's just random that popped up on Reddit right after the live. Anyway, this is why people say that Bloodraven is darker. Breanne is this mysterious character because you don't exactly know what's happening there. We know that, like I said, you could link all the things that I did and be like, oh, well, he's sacrificing humans to make himself more powerful, right? Or that's why people think that Breanne is dark. Yes. All right. So whoever that was that just called, please call back. What? How could she stop me? What do you mean? What does this mean? Shade of the evening, the big H of Westeros. Oh wait, the person's calling back. Hello. Hello. What's up?
What's up, man? It's me, Osiris.
Oh, what's up, dude?
What's going on? I was going calling when you were talking. That's all.
Nice, nice. Welcome to the show. What, you got a question or?
Yeah, you know what? Another one. What about if the beginning of the Jon Snow series? You remember how Tyrion told him, ask me 10 years later if we did the right thing. You think the show will start off Tyrion seeing Jon north of the wall, telling him, we did a big mistake killing Daenerys?
You know what? It's been so long since I watched season 8. I probably need to rewatch that. That said, like Tyrion says that to Jon.
Yeah.
Damn.
When, it was
In the final episode.
When Jon went to visit him in the jail cell, I believe. I can't remember right. But I remember Jon was like, did we do the right thing? And Tyrion told him, you know what? Ask me 10 years down the road.
That could be. I'm not sure if Peter Dinklage has agreed to come back. I'm trying to pull that up on YouTube right now so I can watch it real quick and know what you're talking about. But yeah, I can imagine they would use any lines like that were ominous, like how Drogon was headed west. That probably will, yeah.
Yeah, and Bran's worried about where's Drogon all the time too. That's why I was thinking, is Bran gonna be the villain of the Jon Snow series? But like I said, I haven't read the books yet, and I'm terribly behind, but I'm trying to get to it.
Well, for Game of Thrones, to be honest, Dan and Dave forgot the books, so for the Jon Snow show, I would definitely say yeah, because Kit Harington is probably going to pull some plot lines from Dance with Dragons or just some of the characters that were left out. I would say for that, but for this, for Game of Thrones post season 5, it doesn't. They kind of did their own thing. I was trying to find that clip on YouTube. I can't believe I don't remember that. I remember
I think they were in the jail cell when he's like, asked me 10 years later.
It might not even be up on YouTube.
Well, I do hope Peter Dinklage does come back. But you know what? He probably, a lot of these stars are probably saying, no, I'm not going to come back. And they're just keeping it down low key, not to, just to troll us. And then once, the show gets about to come around the corner, and next thing you know, Dinklage is back. Emilia Clarke somehow comes back. It's.
Yeah, I think I found the scene. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that. I'll probably include that in my next stream or something, so that way I can actually give you a solid answer. But here, let me ask you this: what are you most looking forward to in season 2?
What am I want to see Damon chop off some mother heads, man. I want to see Rhaenyra chop off some heads, man. Because they gave away. In Game of Thrones, they give away what happened to her. For the people that didn't read the book.
Yeah.
But before they kill her off or something, man, she needs to go out like a G.
Yeah, I think for me, I want to see a close up of Sunfire. I know everybody's Team Blacks. I know everybody watching this are Blacks, but I want to see Sunfire, the most beautiful dragon ever. Yeah, I don't know. Are you excited about that?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited, period, man. They need to hurry up, man.
Yeah.
They need to hurry up. Like I said on one of your, I think it was on your Instagram post, I'm like, they need to as soon as they're done making season 2, they need to make season 3.
Yeah,
it's going to be like 3 or 4 seasons. So they need to. If they knew this show was going to be a hit right after, the first couple episodes, like, hey, get in the studio, man. Shoot, what we waiting for?
Yeah. I think the big thing is the writing, and then also they didn't greenlit it. Like, it didn't get greenlit until right after the first episode. So they probably were holding, like, they knew they were going to be able to come back, but they didn't officially get the official green light until HBO saw, oh shit, 25 million people watched the first episode. Let's go ahead and green light it. So these people know they have a job,
They know what people gonna watch it, because they want, a lot of people didn't like the ending of season 8 of Game of Thrones. So there's like, okay, they didn't like the ending, but we come out with House of the Dragon, people are gonna watch it regardless if they like season 8 or didn't of Game of Thrones. So it's like there's money here, because look how much money they made with Game of Thrones. And
I think they were kind of nervous, because I will say this, like, that signed the petition to refilm season 8 thing. That was never going to go anywhere. But I'm sure the higher ups probably saw that and were like, holy crap, 2 million people signed this thing. Maybe we should hold these cards close to our chest and not release anything, you know what I mean, until we see how the show's been recepted. Because, like, if anything, everybody can get canceled for doing anything. So, HBO was probably like, let's be careful. Let's trade care. You know what I mean? I don't know.
And that's why I think they're going to do the Jon Snow series too, because they want to make up for the season 8. And, like, they're going to make up for it by doing it through Jon Snow.
Well, here's the thing. If they do it right, you won't even have to say it's a making up for season 8, right? Because season 8 has so much open-ended things, like Sansa being a Stark in Winterfell. That's not okay. That's never been done. Northmen aren't going to be cool with that. Northmen are notoriously sort of, like, not okay with, I mean, like, yeah, they let their daughters, yeah, you know what I mean?
They want a king. They want a man.
Yep. And then also you got to realize Breanne, he's a male heir. Or I'm sorry, he's a man king down south, but he can't make any heirs. And like people were saying, like, oh, well, Tyrion says that they're going to be a democracy after. No, Tyrion is a dwarf. No one's going to listen to him. The Lannisters are not who they were. So it's like, it's not quite, if they do the Jon Snow right, the Jon Snow show right, people are going to be like, oh no, season 8 wasn't the end. It was just the end of that show in its iteration. And the story wasn't done being told. So that's why those cliffhangers or all the things that people didn't like, they're not necessarily going to be fixed. They're just going to be continued. And now we get to see that. That's how I feel like they should take on stuff for the Jon Snow show. Like, they need to act as though those were just the beginning part of a story instead of trying to retcon it. Just act like, okay, well, now we got to continue. Arya went west to Westeros, realized it was Lonely Light, and ended up in Essos, and now realizes that all these dragon rumors are coming around because Daenerys is back. You know what I mean? Something like that.
And I have a feeling she's gonna come back, bro. I have a feeling.
I want her to too. HBO's
gonna do that, and I have a feeling if she comes back, she's not gonna come back with vengeance for Jon. I have a feeling like she'll say, you know what, I understood what you did. It was, I was wrong. But at the same time, her best friend got killed. Two of her dragons died. She was losing it already.
Yeah.
I would have probably done the same thing in her position.
Yeah, for sure.
My dragon died. Oh no, it's sorry. Fuck that. Burn this bitch to the ground.
Yeah, and the thing is too is like all the characters that were her companions that were cut out, right? Aside from obviously, we all know what's going to happen in Slaver's Bay with Daario, right? That's probably going to be the first place she goes back to. But the other companions, like well, I mean, his Darzel arc was on the show, but my favorite, Strong Belwas, was not included. Now he can come with her and be like, oh, he's the new companion that joined her side. You know what I mean? So, like, there's so many things they could do. But all right, man, I'm gonna cover.
I really wanted to see Daenerys and Jon, together, bro. Like, I didn't give a who was king, who was queen. I just wanted to see them together, have little Jon Snows and Daenerys, baby.
Yeah, for sure. And didn't you get Emilia Clarke to sign the picture for boobs?
This picture I got offline. There's a
I
got a certificate of authenticity on it. I didn't pay much for it, but I'm not really sure because that place that gave me that comes with the name of the certificate of authenticity. I did some research and I can't, I Can't find much on him. But I love the picture either way.
Yeah. I was about to say, because that would be so dope. Like, I don't know how she would feel about that, but I feel like as just doing it, it would be hilarious. Like, can you sign a couple things for me? And then she's like, yeah, sure. And then you pull out the. He's like, I'm sorry, can you sign? These are amazing breasts. I just want you to know these are everything.
But yeah, this past November, my birthday passed. My wife got me a autographed picture of Millie Alaclock, young Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
She was doing a private signing, across the pond in her Galaxy Con, and she bought me the, for it to get signed and everything, and to get sent to JSAA, one of the big authenticity places out there. They're like, just in case you ever want to sell the picture, I would not want to sell that picture anyway. If I get, once I get it, so it's like. But that one I know will be really signed by her and stuff. The one with Amelia Clark, if it is, it's badass. But if it's not, I love my picture anyway. So. Hell
yeah. I just thought about that because I saw it. I was like, man, can you imagine walking up there and be like, oh, yeah, by the way, can you sign this? It's for my mom. She loves breasts.
Like if I ever met her, I wouldn't take her a picture like that.
I would. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't.
Well, at the same time, I just slap my hand. I'm like, Amelia Clark just slapped you. Mother of Dragon.
I'm never washing my face again. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna try to take one more call in before I get out of here. I know it's kind of short on this stream.
All right, brother. I appreciate you taking the call and stuff, man. You the best, man. You the GOAT, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow this man everywhere. He the GOAT. Appreciate it.
Hey, go follow him too. You have a Twitch. You want to tell everybody to where they can find your Twitch channel?
Oh yeah, y'all could follow me at Twitch at Osiris0914 on Twitch. I have Twitter. I have everything. So just look me up if y'all do. If not, it's cool. But y'all show some love for my man Sir Hunt over here, man. It's all about him, not about me. It's about him.
All right, man. Well, appreciate it. Thank you for calling in, bro. It was a lot of fun.
All righty, brother. Yes, sir.
All right, have a good one. All right. So did Luke die or Jace? Luke is alive. He will be appearing in season 2 as a simple fisherman, right? I've been sent some leaks through the DMs over on Twitter, where Lucerys is not going to have any lines, but occasionally we'll see him in the same boat that Gendry was still rowing in. Occasionally we'll see shots of Lucerys in the ocean being simple-minded fishing. Hell yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thank you, man. What's sad? Vhagar did not eat him. Vhagar spit him out like she was a baby who didn't want vegetables. Vhagar spit him out. Spit it out. All you ever do is on me now. All you ever do is on me. Whoever can guess that song will win this week's giveaway. Actually, no. You know what? I can't do a giveaway this week because Osiris Gaming still has not gotten the painting that he won last week. I still haven't sent that out yet. So, as a matter of principle, I'm not going to do a giveaway this week. But this is the only time I won't do it. I still need to get printer ink. I haven't gotten that yet. Also, if you did win and you got the painting, send me a picture. There was a couple people who got their stuff and didn't send me a picture or anything. And it's like, that's fine, but it makes me a little bit sad. Are you not excited to get my stuff? Whatever. Also, I like to share it on social media so people know I'm not bullshitting. People do win. Vega said chomp chomp. Let's see. Chanderella said there's a web. What's that? Is it the are you talking about the convention? Let me look up to see if any news has come up yet. Nope. Let me check the Reddit. Checking the Reddit to see if there's anything I missed about the Jon Snow show. No. Oh. Well, this person thinks that tomorrow at 4 is the panel with Kit Harington, and that's where Snow is going to be announced. All right, so then I won't check for the rest of the stream because now I know what will happen tomorrow at 4. All right. Are you really? Are you ready? That's the second Slipknot song I've referenced. You can tell it's on my mind. I'm going to the con tomorrow. Really nice. Nice. All right, so let's see. Oh, I did all my Patreon questions. All right, so let's do questions from the chat. Let's see if there's anything I missed. Does anyone know why there is no news coming out of the GOT Fan Fest in Los Angeles this weekend? You think at least the panel would be streamed? There was a panel that was streamed, and I'm gonna pull it up for you right now. I gotta pull it up on my phone first, and then I'll pull it up on my computer. Where the f is it? I was just watching it right before this. So it was randomly uploaded onto YouTube. Or not randomly, but Condell is doing a virtual appearance. I thought he was actually going to be there. That sucks. He's probably busy writing season 2, so no, that doesn't suck. That's a good thing. Condell, keep your butt over in the UK and keep working on this show, man. We need it. Also, keep my boys Eric and Art Cargill around until season 4. Have their face-off mean so much more. Keep them on an extra couple of seasons. Those dudes are awesome. If you're even watching, I don't think Ryan Condell's watching this. Where the hell is the link? Here it is. All right. All right. Pull this up on YouTube. Here we go. All right, so this person, Morgan King. Shout out to Morgan King for filming the panel with Tom Glenn Carney. You're awesome. No, I'm not going to play the audio, obviously. I've already watched the Q&A part. Not all of it, but I watched the Q&A part. And you know what really makes me disheartened is that Tom Glenn Carney, right, has actually shared a post of mine. It's my pinned post on Instagram. He was asked in this Q&A, I don't know who it was. It had to be someone who watches YouTube videos. But they go, hey, have you seen the YouTube videos about the people who break down the show? And have you heard what they have to say about your character? And Tom laughed halfway through the question and then goes, what the fuck? What is that? I didn't even know people do that. So there goes all those hopes of Tom Glenn Carney potentially watching my video and be like, hey, this guy's making a good point. You got to be Team Green and Team Black because no one should be all the way one thing. But it's not the case. He doesn't even watch YouTube. So, but yeah, this person right here uploaded this, Morgan King. So I'm going to drop this in the chat because this is like the only video of it. And the person who made me think of this, the commenter rather, said that there's no video coming out. So there you go. There's a video from it. But yeah, shout out to Morgan King. You're like awesome for uploading this. Also, they did a one with Podrick Payne, right? Daniel Portman. I will say that I'm surprised at how well, maybe that was before the attendance is kind of low there. Pod the Rod. It's Daniel Portman. But yeah, this person is probably at the convention again today. Let me see if they've uploaded any newer videos. Oh, well, there you go. One on Jack Gleason, Joffrey. Oh, wow. He looks different. I thought for sure his hair was not blonde in real life, but it's brown. Jack Gleason. Y'all see this that I'm hovering over right here? I don't know why they always make those thumbnails like that. That was a picture. It was a joke. Sophie Turner was grabbing Maisie Williams' booby, but it was a joke. All right, so stop sharing. All right, cool. So yeah, the Jon Snow panel is tomorrow. This live stream was kind of more of a, laid back, chill stream. I need to get ready for nap time. So an hour and a half. Thank you for watching. Please slap a like on this. Like goal is going to be as many as possible. Also, make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on. There's like 3 different levels, all personalized and none. If you click on all, you'll get alerted every single time I upload. Check down below in the description. But last night I dropped a video on some of the news that came out for when filming will be starting. And then also the day before that, I did a video on Jon Snow. So make sure you watch that. I'll be live again next Saturday at 1. Next Saturday, we'll return to the normal 2-hour stream. Also, I'll do the call-in thing again as well if people want to call in because that was a lot of fun. Thank you for watching. Along that, please consider checking out my Patreon. I had a bunch of people leave my Patreon in the past couple of weeks. Obviously, financial obligations are what they are. I removed the $100 tier because I don't feel like I offer enough content to be able to even have that. So you can join for as little as $1, but there are certain incentives for joining the higher up tiers. Like, for instance, everybody that's a member of my Dragon Knight tier gets to specifically tell me what they want a video made for Patreon. So that's one of the things. And it takes me hours and hours to do. So that I think is a decent reward. But thank you for watching. Along that, the risa spostare exos. Dahor.